Today we read from the book of Wisdom, chapter 3, verses 1 to 9. And this comes from the Apocrypha, which is not printed in all editions of the Bible, so we'll provide a link to the passage online in case you have difficulty finding it. The book is called The Wisdom of Solomon, although it's very unlikely that Solomon actually penned all these sayings. The book reflects Greek philosophical thought of the early centuries before Christ. But Solomon is credited with founding a school of wisdom, following God's answer to his prayer asking for wisdom. Both here and in Proverbs, wisdom is personified and referred to as female. She. Wisdom is a spirit, it says, a friend to us mortals, and is identified with the Spirit of God, which fills the world. Some people use a female pronoun today for the Holy Spirit, which perhaps helps remind us that the Godhead, although beyond gender, embraces all genders as well. We're thinking today about a female saint, Tydfil, so this is an appropriate book to read from. We have a delightful portrait of her in the cathedral, which you can find in the east window of the Dovrig Chapel behind me, a chapel set aside for private prayer. Do go and admire her. I particularly like her long, beautiful plaited hair. Apart from Mary, church windows tend to be full of male saints, so it's nice to have a female figure centre stage in this chapel. Of course, we really have no idea what she would have looked like. There are stories about her life and how she was martyred, also perhaps largely imaginative, but good stories. Her father was Brychan Brycheiniog, a king who lived in the 5th century, and who had 25 daughters and 24 sons. One feels that this may have been rather too much of a blessing. But you may be relieved to know that he had several wives, and indeed concubines. Anyway, Tydfil was buried at what became Merthyr Tydfil. It was a time of attack by Picts from Scotland, and the family, who were very devout Christians, were a target. Tydfil had founded a small Christian community of men and women in the Taff Valley, where she exercised the ministry of compassion and healing. When the Picts attacked the community, Brychan, her father, was visiting his daughter. All were murdered as they fled, but Tydfil was remarkable for remaining in prayer on her knees until she too was killed. The site became a place of pilgrimage, and eventually a stone church was erected and the town grew up around it. The rest, as they say, is history. The souls of the just are in the hands of God, says Wisdom in today's lovely passage, which must have comforted many a prospective martyr and many a bereaved person over the centuries. You may have heard it read at a funeral or a memorial service. The suffering of this life, when experienced by the innocent, is seen as a test from God, like metal being refined by fire. Genuine faith, genuine love, the qualities found in the nature of God will survive such tests, as gold comes through the highest temperatures undamaged. Everything else is burned away and consumed. This makes me ask myself, what is of lasting worth in my life? Lasting worth. What will be remembered of me? What will survive of me to be united with God? How do I respond to the trials of this life, which in a small way do test us and our character? Do they make me resentful, irritable, or do I grow in patience and tolerance? These are challenges for all of us. And if we're not great at coping with tests at this level, then it's unlikely that we would be able to follow an example like Tydfil's, should the occasion arise.